I'm
This
not saying
conference
from
will
here.
now be recorded.
Okay, so I'm not saying from here this IoT was originated or something like that. What I'm trying to say is basically the term itself come from, so interconnected device came into the picture, and slowly we will see how IoT came into the picture, why IoT is so important, why IoT and security need to be why there should be a combination of both of them. Okay, so so my presentation will be like this. Okay, after a short story, let us see what is going to be the content of the presentation. We'll discuss what is IoT, proper definition, what should be key feature, what are the application areas where you can see yourself and the market going, and we will see a case study. We are going to have a look on two case studies. One is going to be Dragon Slayer, Dragon Attack. Let us name it like this. Okay, so and here I'll ask you a question, and then we'll try to make our own case study that is going to be related to agriculture. Okay, we'll look into this application area, then we'll start with security. I basically, let me tell you about myself, not too much into the security side. I use security as a pinch of salt. I basically design the hardware, and then I add security for as per requirement. So not theoretical security analytics or something like. I don't work on that much on security, but yes, I know about them because I use them. So we are going to use, or we are going to look into OWASP. OWASP is a consortium. Then we'll see the best practices. Then we'll see the RFC and security. Okay, so these things, and finally the case study. This is what going to be the highlight of this session. Okay, so now let us see. Let us remember the story. So David Nicholas LS. Please pardon me for the spelling. I think Nicols is the name. A graduate student of CMU. He was from Department of Computer Science. So he gave this, which is called interconnected appliances, as per the stories goes. So here, so far there was nothing, just the name called interconnected appliances. Apart from that, there was a, Mark Weiser. Mark Weiser is basically at that time 1988 he was a chief technology officer, CTO of Xerox. Okay, and he published something in 1991. He gave this terminology called ubiquitous computing. So what do you mean by ubiquitous computing? Anyone? Ubiquitous? Anyone would like to help me? Anyone? Your answers doesn't see, responses matter. Right or wrong is what we discuss and we'll decide. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. So again, anyone, any support, comment, audio, howsoever you'd like to share your views is welcome.
So to be present at the same time everywhere.
To be present.
At the same time.
Okay, so same time I'll write it like this: anywhere and any time. Okay, so ubiquitous computing simply emphasize on your resources. Computer as a resource should be available to everyone from anywhere, anytime. So you can access the same PC from my area of my sitting, and at the same time Aditya can also help you. So you can go to him and you can again access it. So anytime, anywhere kind of computation was proposed by Mark Weiser. So these are the terms which are very important to observe and to know. Why? Because from here you will see the evolution of technology very clearly. We'll discuss the evolution of technology also in little bit more detail, but this is something very important. People don't what I observe is they know there's IoT is this, IoT is that, but they don't have a good idea about how it was originated and how it becomes such a big name, and why it is like this. So later what happened, somewhere again in 1980s, the scientist, the name Bill Joy, he's a American computer engineer, Bill Joy, and he's also co-founder of Sun Microsystem. Anyone has heard about this name of company called Sun Microsystem? Sun Microsystem is a very big company. So he gave a term, he coined a term, that the term is called device to device. What do you mean by device to device? How can you mention, how can you say device to device? So there we can fight between device to device and M2M, all day long. There are explanations available, but device to device basically, which means what, to you can create local services. Okay, also can be used for emergency communication. Okay, and also it has IoT enhancement features. Okay, scalability. Let us stay like this. So when two devices communicate with each other, then it is called device to device communication. Usually devices could be low power devices, medium. So depend on, there are different classes of device. So for example, display is a class of a device, storage could be a class of device, infotainment is again a class of devices. So there are different classes of devices, and that's how you the Billy Joy mentioned that of interconnected is good. After interconnected, ubiquitous came into the picture. When after some times, we got another term which is called device to device, but still you can't see IoT. So IoT was coined by Kevin Ashton. Kevin Ashton is from Procter and Gamble. He was the first one who coined this terminology, and that was basically from in a meeting he said, let's, why should the information system infrastructure, from implementing smart connected device, everything should be connected, and let's make everything on internet, and he gave this term called Internet of Things. Okay, so this was happening in 1999, and okay, please interrupt me if you have any question or anything which you'd like to talk about. I will be more than happy to respond. Okay, I'm just so in 1999, Kevin Austin mentioned this term, and he gave the name IoT. So from that, from right now we know who gave the name of Internet of Things or IoT. So IoT came from this particular name, and the whole period, the evolution period, you see from 1982 to 1999, you can find all these things available there. But this is not considered as a birth period or birth time of IoT. So there is birth time of IoT means what, when IoT, see, the term was like device to device. IoT was coined by a tech pioneer, Kevin Ashton, but the technology is something which you adopt when it comes to user. Okay, so when it comes to general public, and then it becomes, a lot of company, if the general public is aware of the technology, they want to use, there's a demand of such technology. So what happened, big companies start investing. So company has, a lot of companies don't simply invest just money because some device to device came, or IoT is the name, something, some fancy name is coming. No, they look into the market, the companies observe market very closely, and slowly this is how it becomes a big technology. So Devashish Sanyal ji, namaste. Okay, so this becomes like this, and what happened is, now we will look. So what we have observed is the origin of the technology. Now what we are going to observe is basically what, how you use IoT as a technology, or any system. uh, so what are the phases which are going to be utilized, what are the steps, how you convert the raw information to knowledge, or to apply it. So from theory to, from raw to application, or I must say implementation. Okay, these are the steps. So from here to here, took a lot of time. So there's something called DIKW pyramid. This is very important pyramid. Whenever it comes to your engineering side, this pyramid always gives you a good result. So what I have observed is basically there's something called wisdom, knowledge, information, and data. So you have DIKW components, and because of DIKW component, it is called with DIKW pyramid, and it is also known as wisdom hierarchy. So for wisdom hierarchy, what you can see here is that you first thing what you have is, let's say, 0 is the first step. So first steps include the sensor. So sensor basically gives you some information, maybe 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 in a bit pattern, or maybe in certain analog waveform. So what you do, you use this in this data which is raw and try to make some fetch some information out of it. So analogy, if you have to look into, so let's say this is let us consider a classic example of traffic light. So whatever I know, there are three kind of colors: red, green and yellow. So I am permitted to drive in green and in yellow, but in red I have to stop. If I don't stop, there will be a fine, or some sort of violation. It will be considered a violation of traffic rules. So what happened, you have a sensor data, let's say LED red is coming, LED is red, or the light in front of you is red. Now this information or this data is being transferred, okay, fetched out, and is being processed as information. So far what you have done, you have collected data, collected, or collection of information is here, collection of data is here. So you use this data, you process that data, and you find certain information. So you interpret it. Even process is the wrong word, I can say interpret it. Interpretation or collection and or formalization. Okay, these are the steps which are going on here. So you have a red LED, data comes here. So the data maybe in LED comes in certain raw way. So raw basically means it is in certain fashion which is not readable to human. So you make it human readable. Okay, for example, red when comes and when it converted into information, it means that there is a light which is not turned red, and that doesn't mean that you have applied it anything. So now you have converted this 0 1 0 1 1 pattern to red. This is how you are presenting the information, and now information is now being converted in sense of knowledge. What do you mean by knowledge? So it means that the road through which I'm driving towards has a red LED. So now you make the sense out of information. Okay, so first you saw a light, you put that into certain human readable form, and now you are trying to make some knowledge out of it, so some sense out of it. So now what you observe is, I'm driving in this particular way, and now I see a red LED, and what you do is basically you apply okay, so you use your wisdom to choose to make a right decision, and that is called applied. So basically what happened, you say, I better stop the car, okay, until if I don't do this, in that case what is going to happen, there will be a issue related to traffic violation. If anyone has any issue related to this diagram, please let me know. I will be more than happy to respond. Any doubt, any comment, any question related to wisdom hierarchy or DIKW pyramid? And this is this pyramid works a lot. You see in this pyramid, did you observe M2M, or did you observe M2H, machine to human? Which kind of interaction did you observe, A or B? You should write in your comment box. This is the way I see that all of you are participating. Please write something, M to M or M to H. You have, if you comment, if there are, I will read the comments and then I'll move on. I'll move forward. Did you see the whole example or test case which we have discussed? How you convert data to wisdom? How many things or was involved? Machine, human, machine to machine, or human to human? Yeah, you have two options. If you write A, it means machine to machine. If you write B, it is machine to human. Or I can name machine to human. I can say HMI, something like this. I can make another example. What should be another case study? Thank you, Deepak ji. Thank you very much. I can make an M2H. So I can make another. Thank you, Santosh ji. Thank you very much. So let us make it more interactive. What if I can consider what is going to be the example of FASTag? So vehicle to infrastructure. In this way, you know, again, vehicle to infrastructure is again an example. You can see machine to machine communication could be an example. You can see human machine interface is going to be another example. Home automation, you can name lot of application area. Okay, there are too many application areas which you can focus on. It's a very interesting topic. Okay, we will discuss it a little bit later, but let us see what we have gone through so far. We have gone through the brief history about how this IoT term came into the picture. We saw how DIKW, your transformation from data to wisdom works. Then now we'll see what basically is IoT. Before going to a formal definition of IoT, it is better to look into IoT. Okay, Monojit ji, dhanyawad. So what we have observed is that what is IoT? Simply, we all can make any definition. We'll see few definitions from big ventures. We'll see slowly we'll try to make our own definition also. But the most key ingredients to make a definition are shown in this image, in this picture. Please let me know if this diagram is visible, not visible to you, or you can see the diagram clearly. Can you read the diagram? Or I should zoom a little bit more? Okay, dhanyawad Manojit ji. So now you please try to see what I'm trying to show you. Okay, I'm not trying to show you, you know, number 1 to number 6. These are not important. These are the phases through which you have to go to. The most important thing is connectivity. So you need to have, so for embedded system, if you have a standalone device, it is fine. But for IoT, you need a fabric. You need a fabric of human. You need a fabric of machines. You need a whole ecosystem. If I must say, a whole ecosystem is required. That is why it is called product of people. Okay, it is a digital fabric. And now what happened in this whole fabric or whole ecosystem? You have things sharing things. Now we need to understand what is the emphasis, why we are mentioning things, why we are not mentioning device, machine, human, you know, why there is this whole term come into the picture. Again, look, you know, it's a very good you know, thing. We'll look into it, but let us see what is first thing which you need. What are the main key ingredients of IoT? Okay, so you have devices which are contributing to human resource, knowledge, or wisdom. So you have devices which are contributing to wisdom and knowledge. So here you have human factor came into the picture. If it is a machine, then it's not it's artificial intelligence, not the natural intelligence. Here we are talking about all these things are done for human, and slowly we'll look into it. So we have device, we have connection, and we have connectivity. Three major important things. Then you have data sensing and collecting. So what happened is, I have, so based on connectivity, you can have you know, how big your connection is. You can have piconet. Okay, piconet means, pico means small in Italian, if I'm right. So piconet, is a small network, so you can have LAN, WAN, you can go, whole big level. So from pico to too much, so small to large network. Basically emphasis is on connected device and connections. Then when these devices are connected, what they will do, they will start communicating. Now there should be topic of communication. Okay, so for example, I don't want to use the term called instruction or command, because what we are trying to see, we are trying to look into the ecosystem. So I say that this guy is having a camera module, and this guy is having, or this system is having, application module. So how to use, if this information will be passed through to the network through this one, there's a way this information can be converted into knowledge. Okay, there is, or, and why, when it goes to the through here, through cloud, somebody is using the network with a mobile, and so connected, so this guy can make a wiseful decision or can imply the knowledge. So you have data collection, so you can have a different topology. You can have data storage units, you can do it in cloud. There are different ways. So you start sensing, you start using the raw data and trying to convert it into information. Okay, that's what is happening here. Once the data is converted into information, then there is you need to provide rights, you need to provide authentications and all other things, oh, and slowly what happened, you provide resources. So you have a different kind of users, the device works itself in a different modes. There are different way of transportation and all, so there are different ways to do it. Okay, so you have data transport and access point came into the picture. Apart from that, you have data analysis. Data analysis basically means what, now the information is there, and to convert it into more complex, more better way of knowledge, so a wisdom can be taken. Okay, so it's a, if you have a very complex, if you have very complex data set, then data analysis is your tool, you have to use it. Okay, so there are different ways. For example, you use machine learning, you use deep learning, or in general people say AI is a term, so ML, DL, AI, whatsoever you like to call it. So there are certain, so you need data presentation, so in that way you use data analytics. Apart from that, there are, so now what happened here, you have raw data, from raw to info, and now from here knowledge. You see the whole wheel moving slowly. So now what is your point number 5? It is very important, data values, analysis to action, process action, enable intelligence. So now either your machine is going to take a decision, or the decision should be taken by a human. So in both ways, your wisdom part starts from here. It's not just the one wisdom section, but I believe this, both of them are, this whole area is a wisdom area. So you see human values, applications, experience, how good your system. So a lot of things came into the picture. Okay, so this is basically from point number 5 to point number 6, you will see a wisdom impact. Okay, and I say this is wisdom, then I can say this is applied wisdom. Okay, so there are these things. I believe the graph itself makes you things very clear to understand. Any question, any comment, please let me know. Anything which is not clear to you, and if I can assist you with certain information. Okay, now let us see why we are discussing these things. Let's say somebody gave a toss a term called IoT, somebody gave device to device, but why we have to discuss this thing, and what are the important factors related to it? So if you can see in this slide, we have a whole lot of things. Again, whatever the resource I use, basically I gave the references. So you can go to the references and you can find more information about this in detail. I'll share all this thing after some time with you all. So now you see that the journey started from 1974. Please tell me if this diagram is visible to you all or no.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe it is
It is
visible.
visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your responses, participants. I believe you are just like me. So please interact. Interaction makes it more interesting. You see. So what we see that we interconnected devices. So we started our story of David Nicholas from 1988, but you see 1974 ATMs were already there. So interconnected devices, but they are very less, and they are, I think, you feed the money inside the internet in ATM, and there are certain ways, maybe near to bank or something. But yes, interconnected devices you can see here. There's not IoT, but interconnected devices. Slowly, if you see, then from 1974 you see the trend. Let us say this 2008. So what happened? What did you see more about in this diagram is you will see big names: Google, you can see Samsung, you can see money, you can see growth factors. So these all GDP and all whatnot is here. Everything is here. So you see now slowly what happened, the companies start involving into it. So now company know that there is something, now there are technologies been evolving, we should look into it and try to find out our way to get engaged. So the problem was that there should be, before having a huge investment, they look into something called people to device ratio. They need to see if we can connect, we can make interconnections, we can make everything on internet, no problem. But the thing is that we need to look into whether general public is having such devices or no. How many device a person holds? Okay, we are not talking about 2021 at this moment. Obviously, you can see the whole setup. I just right now I'm using more than 4 devices. Okay. So now the thing is, things are different, but when you invest, so you have to look into this. So you see that at this time, when the companies were doing their own survey, IoT or Internet of Things is a phase that 87% of people haven't heard of. At that time, this was not even normal, or this is not something which is common at that time. Okay. And we already, so there were already more objects to connect to internet than people. So slowly when the evolution was going on from 74 to, let's say, 80 somewhere, so people was not aware about it. But when you go to 2008, so people have more devices, there are more devices than people. Now this is a right time when you try to make things easier. So when there are, so this is basically, we'll see what happens slowly. I'll exactly provide you the information of the birth time of IoT, so we can have further discussion about it. So what do you see? There are home, computer, laptops, games, controller, whatnot. Okay, so big companies were into it. So in 2016 we have they say that 4.9 billion connected things, okay, will be there. So slowly what they say that it is going to contribute the global wearable market. So again, connected devices came into the picture. Is in till 2015 it has increased to not just 50%, 100%, to 223%. It's a huge number. And now not only that, you can see that IoT is basically contributing 10 to 15 trillions of dollar in global GDP, which is a big number. Okay. And these surveys are not just done by a normal company. They are big companies. Their job, they do all these things on a regular basis. Then vehicle connected, vehicle to vehicle communication. Lot of things came into the picture. Drones I haven't even mentioned in this particular slide. So companies, so big companies start investing in home devices, having connected kitchens, and a lot of other things came into the picture. Then smartwatch came into the picture. Now if we talk what every person, the people to device ratio is more than 1:2. I think I'm just saying in a developed country in US or in developed nation it is far much higher. But even if for countries like India we can easily say 4 to 8 very easily. Okay, so you have more connected device now. Okay, so now there is, so how this whole thing started, this whole thing started when Cisco started doing the survey. Cisco, what was the survey about? So survey was basically about to understand how much is the people to device ratio. Okay, sorry for my handwriting. I used to write in good way, but today I don't know what is happening. So now this chart and this diagram is very important. So we have to analyze when you find IoT was born. So they say the time is in 2008 because from 1974 from ATMs to this what we were discussing is basically about when people to device ratio was increasing. Okay, so if you see this diagram in 2003 there are less than one device, 0.8. I think my screen is visible, so might be little bit blur, but I think it is very visible. If let me know if it is not visible to anyone. If it is not visible, I will more than happy to zoom it. Okay, let me put my camera in a right way. Now it is fine. So now you see there are, so what you observe in 2003 0.08, and the world population was 6.3 billion, connected devices were 500 million. So there was a gap obviously. So then they say some in 2010 again, so they say that the right time of birth was somewhere around 2008 to 2009, and the reason was you see more connected devices than people. Okay, and that is from there onwards you see more investment. So you see in 2003 and in 2010 there is a huge difference, and this the same thing has been visible to this diagram also, but diagram shows study from 2012 to 2020 just to show you how big the market goes. But here you see 2003 2010 the world population was increasing, number of devices so from 500 million to 12.5 billion is a huge jump, and it doesn't stop there. In 2015 people to device ratio increases to 3.4. Okay, close to 4. Okay, 4 device per person. In 2020 it says that 6 to 7. So people to device ratio, no, so from 500 million to 12.5 billion, 15, 25 billion and 50 billion device, and market is still growing. This is already gone. Now we are in 2021. You can see the pace of how market is growing, how things are expected to reach 2 point with this particular growth, and it is going as per expectation. Now I will show you how we can make the definition. So what we have seen the brief history or the story about how IoT came into the picture, the term. Then we saw the wisdom hierarchy. Then what we saw is the potential of the market. We'll look into the potential of market sector wise slowly. Then what we have observed is what is the birth time of IoT based on the survey done by Cisco and all. So basically Cisco was the first company according to the knowledge which is already available in different platforms in form of literature. Cisco was the one who has basically started the good survey, and still Cisco dominates in this particular area. So now let us see, if I have to make a definition of IoT, how can I make a definition of IoT? So you have internet, then you have things, and then we'll try to merge both of them, and then we'll try to make our own definition, that is internet of things. So what basically is internet? If you see, it's a big global network of what connected servers, computer, tablets, devices basically, and you know that, and what happened, these all things follow standard set of protocol. Basically there are certain rules and regulations which are being followed, okay, by these connected systems. And what it does is basically it sends, it receives, either come both ways, or receive or communication of information is going on. Apart from that, so you have trans and receive, you also have certain signals which are called control signals, control, flow control. I want to mention it as a flow control. Let's like write it like this. Okay, so you don't only, not only just communicate, but it also controls the flow of information with connected devices, could be remote server, cloud, analytics platforms, and whatnot. So basically it's what I understand are the few keywords I would like to pick it up from here, and those keywords are network, and I want to say all these things as the devices, and there are set of rules, and do communication. Okay, so this is basically what is formal definition of internet. And then what do we mean by things? Again important. So things basically means what? Things have no technical proper definition. Things basically mean some object. I'm going to Oxford dictionary or something, so that's what I, from where I corrected it. So you have objects, could be action or idea. I have thing in my mind, what is the right thing, something, we use these terms. So it could be situation, activity, whatsoever. So in case one didn't wish to be precise, this is very important, didn't wish to be precise. So you don't know what is connected to what, and you don't want to be very precise, because when I have a palm top device in my hand, it is machine, and me as a human, so information, knowledge, and wisdom are different. So sometimes some actions will be by default taken by my machine, and most of, and some action will be taken by so the low priority machine will handle, high priority things where they need my permission would be handled by me. So that is why it is sometimes it is not very convenient to just say human or machine. The systems or the nowadays in consumer electronics, things will be automatically or operated and could be operated by human. Okay, so that is why we don't use the term human or machine. We use in IoT we use term called internet of things. So everything and anything is been included. So now with those two definitions, how can I make my own definition of IoT? So IoT is basically, now I say not devices, or what I say, network of things. Okay, to do what? To do the same task what we are doing through internet communication. Okay, now we are not just using internet, but we are using every technology, not only just internet, any other communication technology. Can you give me any other communication technology example which is not apart from internet? Can you give me any other name? What should be what are other communication technologies? Anyone? Please give me some name. Write it in comment box. I will be more than happy to respond. Comment box, any suggestions? You should respond. Oh, got one. Bluetooth. Monoji ji, very nice answer. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your participation. Highly appreciated. So you can say RFID. You can say Bluetooth. Now Bluetooth has walkie-talkie, push to talk. So walkie-talkie P2T. Walkie-talkie. Okay, let me name some participant. Radhika ji, thank you very much for your participation. So you have P2T, PTT, or yeah, P2T नहीं बोलते इसको बोलते PTT, push to talk. That's the technology. So walkie-talkie is always half duplex way of communication, still in use, most very powerful and very strong. Okay, but again, you are talking, communicating wirelessly even through Bluetooth or PTT. In both cases, we are communicating and we are using, and it is not through internet. It is other technology standards. Okay, and that is how you are following it. So not only that, but to do what? To do certain, now previously we were sending or communicating, connecting through internet. Now with IoT, the application area is basically you have far more complex applications. Applications includes monitoring, coordinating. Nodes can communicate to nodes by themselves. They don't need human intervention. Controlling process across the internet and other data networks. Okay, that is why IoT is getting more and more, you know, involvement with human and investments also. So that is basic formal definition of IoT. Anyone has anything which you'd like to talk about or would like to share your views, please do it. I will be more than happy to respond, to share my responses also. Okay, now those were the definition which I try to make, I look into somewhere and try to think about it, and I make my own definition with you all with the help of every one of you. But do you think what other companies think of IoT and how they look IoT? So everyone has their own own name or own definition based on their requirement. For example, mobile companies have IoT in very different way compared to surveillance company. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief idea about it. So you have this Gartner is a company. Gartner Research is very good, organization. You everyone, I must highly recommend Gartner Research, Gartner hype cycle to be followed by all of you. We are going to look into it, but let us see what Gartner says. Excuse me. Gartner says IoT is a network of physical objects that contain embedded technologies, okay, to communicate or interact, communicate, sense or interact with internal states or external environment. It covers everything, whatever IoT is. Okay, so not only intertask intercommunication, intra communication is also part. So I am communicating with myself and I can communicate with everybody, one thing. So again, things are involved, embedded technologies are involved, so the different kind of communication, everything. So this lengthy definition, whatever it explains to you, is being simply written in 2 lines. That's all. Now let us see little bit about Gartner hype cycle. I know this diagram might be not that much clear to you. Aditya ji, can you help me whether this diagram is visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, but can you please zoom it a little bit, sir?
Can you see the arrow?
Yes, sir, I can see the arrow, sir.
This is what is written. It's your test now.
Yes, sir. Internet of Things, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So now there's a hype
Thank you, sir.
cycle. I know this diagram is not very good, but with high resolution, this diagram is not available. What I mean to, I want to point few things. So here you see 2014 is written. One thing. Second thing is innovation trigger. So these are the technology which, or this innovation is being triggered. The technology which are new and coming to the market slowly. They have a good scope. Here the technologies which are on its peak, then now the technology which might go to be end or to be going to be a normal thing, but you can see another trend running on here. So hype cycle mostly looks, they have always this kind of curve. So what I want to show you, that first time when IoT came into the picture, it was on peak in 2014. Okay, other things are smart advisors, data science, neuro business, biochips, speech to speech translation. We're talking about like almost 8-9 years back story. But now I think this diagram is visible to you all. I from 2014, now I just moved to 2018. Can you see this diagram, Aditya ji? Now things are visible, no?
Yes, sir, they are visible, sir.
What is this?
Which one, sir? Smart Fabric, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, sir.
So now what do you see is that we saw IoT here at its peak. Now in 2018, after 4 years, did you see IoT? Anyone can see the IoT? Is it visible in Gartner chart? Can you see IoT written somewhere? Do you find
No, sir.
something? No. Wrong answer.
The
You're not
platform
looking at
is
the.
written over here, sir.
Yeah. You got it. But you know what is the good technology? The good technology is one which you utilize every day and you don't even think about it. So that is what so it blended into society, it blended into your lifestyle in such a way that you don't think, oh, it is so complex. You never realize this. For example, if I have to talk to somebody, I don't need to call. Previously we ever said, now I do WhatsApp. I don't bother about what is how this is the call transformation is happening, whether we are using 5G, 4G, internet, whatever. So it blended in my life or in the life of humans so good that we don't even realize that there is a technology going on. But again, my question is, can you see IoT blended anywhere in this graph? We saw one name, yes, good, but did you observe what is the emphasis in 2018? What was a key trend? What was a key trend in 2014 18? Sorry, can you see a key trend, something, anything? Edge AI, conversational AI platform as service. A PaaS is something, I don't remember the full form at this moment. Anyone would like to help me? What is PaaS? What
Platform
is
as a service.
PaaS? Platform as a service. Thank you very much. So I must write it here. PaaS is platform as a service. Okay, so you have platforms where for example MIS, this Moodle thing, if somebody uses Moodle as a student, as a faculty, you can realize what I mean to say basically here. So you have smart platforms, smart robots, mobile robots. BCI came into the picture. So you see now this of 2013, quantum computing and BCI are something. Smart workplace. This is literally what we are doing. I'm sitting in my workplace, I'm interacting, I'm doing my everything, interacting with more than 100 people here, and we are having a discussion. So smart workplace, digital twin is something I would like to give some minutes on it. It's a very, very good technology. What we'll talk about it a little bit later. So you see now, where is IoT? Again, the question is, where is IoT? So 5G also covers little bit about IoT. Digital twin also cover little bit about IoT. A lot of connected devices are here. Digital twin means connectivity by default. Okay, then smart robots again. So now you can see the mixture of devices, connectivity, and AI. Major emphasis in 2018 was on smart connected device or AI. Okay, now let us see what was there after this. Okay, so they in 2019, I think this diagram is visible again. Sorry for multiple diagrams, but I want to show you how evolution of technology came into the picture. Now, can you see IoT anywhere? Or can you name a technology where you see IoT? Where you can observe, can you name some technology in this graph where you see it is not even possible without IoT, Internet of Things? Come on. Citizen data science. Okay. IoT business solution. It is blended now. Cloud data backup. Okay. There are data centers. Now data centers are related to big data. I don't want to put too much emphasis on this, but the technology was so involved that you can't simply realize where IT financial management tool is not IoT. No. Okay, so you have privilege access. So these are more security kind of things. And now you see a, so now you have cloud UCs came into the picture. Then you have like PaaS, you have IaaS, then you have disaster recovery. Now this is IoT. Disaster recovery as a service. If I read, so I can find now. Look into it. Citizen developers. You can't do it without devices. Okay. So this is in 2019. Now this is in 2000. This 2020 Gartner chart. Can you see IoT? Can you see IoT anywhere? Health passport. When those who are vaccinated and would like to go abroad, they must attach attach is not the right word, integrate their COVID vaccination with their passport. Okay, so then only you are allowed to fly abroad, else no. So health passport came in the picture. I'm just giving an example of COVID-19. I can give you too many examples. Now there's a whole new industry now, and now it is not limited to the border. Previously we say health tourism came into the picture. Now it is what, now you go, your whatever your test results are, whatever your medical reports are, they are just available globally to anywhere. Now we have consultancy services now from abroad also, and our doctors also gave such services to abroad. So there are now, because of this connected devices, we have more scope. Not now, there is something called surgical robotics, whole new area. Those who are from mechanical engineering or would have ever heard about this term called ROS, robotics. Okay, surgical robotics is a whole new area where I can simply, one of the surgical robot is Da Vinci. So it was first knee replacement surgery was done by this robot from remote location. So you can stay in India and you can do some surgery using Da Vinci surgical robot if you anywhere from anywhere. So there are certain things which are going on in healthcare industry. Again, can't be happen without IoT. Then I don't want to do too much of emphasis on AI and ML now. The reason is that now the AI is not just I consider as an embedded system engineer, IoT engineer, we consider it as a tool. So I can implement AI in my data set or with my raw data or the information which I have. Anyone from computer science department can use it. Anyone having for example turbine data set, and anywhere you can use it. So AI I mostly consider as a tool. Now you see digital twin of persons, citizen twin, these two again embedded AI. You can see social distancing technology at their peak. I believe social distancing is not going to is going to be too much of value, because by default whole human uh, a human are social people. So social distancing is just opposite to what we believe and how we have grown up. So social distancing is important maybe when you are especially in contaminated area, when there are certain influenza is going on. So now we can control them in much better way. Okay, so social distancing technologies are there. Then you have explainable AI. Explainable AI is not anything associated with IoT, but yes, I can show you everything: digital twin, citizen twin, then health passport. Small data, literally small data, the term came into the picture. So small data makes a big data. So collection of data from IoT devices makes a big data for data analysis. So you have secure edge services, SASE, secure access service edge. Bring your own identity, again something related to IoT. So you have a lot of things which are basically IoT, but you can't simply see the term IoT anymore. It is blended into human society. Now you can't simply find IoT. You literally, there is no term as IoT in this graph, but you can find IoT in more than 5 places or 5 technology. Yes. Okay, so this was the intention. Now let us see what are the key enablers of IoT. So you can see there are key enablers. One is RFID, nanotechnology, sensors, smart networks, basically anything which is in internet or without internet, but which the technology which gives you smart sensors. or smart connectivity, or just sensing and connectivity with certain hardware. You can find it as and they are connected devices. Okay, not just one, not just two, but whole ecosystem. Remember that. Now let us see a few basic characteristics. They are efficient, obviously scalable, you can expand them, unambiguous naming. So this is pretty much very common. So what you see is the device name should be unique and the addressing should be unique. Addressing means what? If this is a apartment, every apartment name should be 202, 201, 200, 199. There should not be two 199. In this case, it will create what? Conflict. Okay, and there will be some issues which would not be easy to address or easy to handle. Unambiguous name means what? The device which is connected has its own unique ID. What do you mean by unique ID? Anyone? How can you give unique ID to too many devices? For example, 10 devices are connected. How? What do you mean by unique ID? What could be a unique ID? Anyone? Okay, no problem. Unique ID means your MAC ID is, for example, MAC ID is a unique ID of every device. So MAC ID simply represent too much information about device. So when those who are working with device drivers, they know more about it, connectivity and addressing. Again, let us forget about. So abundance of sleep. Your device should not work like your GPU or GPP, general purpose computer. It should sleep whenever it is not needed, can go to hibernate, then ultra low power, deep sleep mode. There are different modes just for sleeping. Your device, how much it is good if your device is sleeping. The reason is that it will save battery. There will be very less chances of vulnerability. Okay, we are going to look into vulnerabilities little bit later, but again, more if it is not required, better it should sleep. Then we have mobile and non-IP devices. What do you mean by mobile and non-IP devices? Now it is again, not like your general purpose computer, could be any portable palm top wearable thing which might not be also having IP address. Okay, so IP non-IP devices or which doesn't work on internet protocol basically. So those kind of devices also come into the picture. Okay, so intermittent connectivity means the right word is opportunity. Opportunistic network connection. Okay, so you can't have 100 every time they should be connected. It means they can be well connected if they want to connect or whenever the time comes. So let us say you have a scheduling algorithm working on the device which says that you need to be up after every 60 minutes and you will be up for, let's say, 60 seconds, and then once you do the data transfer, then you should again go back to sleep. So at that time for 60-second device will be up. It should, and the device will try to connect. All the authorization is already been provided, so the connection is not going to be more complicated. It's there are few handshakes which are very important. That handshakes happens and you will get the authorization easily. Connectivity is done. Now when the connectivity is done, then you use the network. Now once the data transfer is done, there's no need of staying connected, because every in IoT, power or the battery life or the device operating power is very important. I can show you an example, two case studies which we are going to look. They work on coin cell batteries, sometimes they work on AAA batteries, so, and they are sometimes they are not very connected to human, they directly deal with physical environments. So in that case, you need to save the health of our device apart from the power of the device. So both of them need to be used. In that case, you use opportunistic network connections which are most convenient in such kind of scenarios. Let us see the market of IoT. You can see, now you see business manufacturing. Okay, I want to give one example of this one. Supply chain Amazon. Before your goods arrive to you, you get an SMS. Somebody will come to you at between this and this time, and you will be available. There will be OTP which is generated. Unless you give an OTP, that the guy is not going to give you your goods or something. Okay, so supply chain is very good example. Now you can see equipments, you can see robotic machineries, now in line manufacturing means, if you see our National Geographic or Discovery, how they made it. So they took the potatoes and they process one, process two, process three. We'll name the process, you can, and you will get a wafer. Let's say Lay's. I don't want to. Okay, Lay's wafers, no problem, have it. So no, so this called line manufacturing. You took the raw material. You step one or process one involves cleaning. Step two involve peeling, and step three involves frying, and step four, let's say, packaging and all. So this is called line manufacturing, or in even supply chain. You have this line of supply steps or process of supplies. So you go from you know so this, wherever you can find this one, you can obviously find IoT literally there. Healthcare, yes, you go take a swab and your report is available online. The team will automatically coordinate. In COVID-19, we have literally seen the classic utilization of technology, and humankind. Everyone was ready to volunteer, everyone was contributing. There are different ways of handling the things. So you have portable health monitoring equipments. Apart from that, you have electronic record keeping. Now I am vaccinated, this data is available on what is the name of that app? Anyone?
Govind
If you
sir.
have to see, GoWin app. No, apart from that, you can see that in DigiKey. The government has this two or three apps. CoWIN app is one app where you can see, whether you are vaccinated, when you are scheduled to be vaccinated, and all other things. So there's a too much of good learning, I must say, which I have observed in this whole period. Arogya Setu, yeah, that is what I was missing. Mishraji, thank you very much. Then you have retail as a industry. Now retail industry is very big. Too much of things, washing machine, smart washing machine. Now, believe it or not, you can find a cooler which you can simply turn on with your phone. You can set time on the Ketan coolers. I don't know whether anyone has. Bajaj is also investing in this particular area. Those things which were traditional are now fully automated and intelligent. LED, turn on the Alexa, turn on the LED. So Alexa will turn on the LED. So this whole thing is very the work of good technological innovation. So this innovation is very important, and that's what you see. 8.3% of market has been shared with this one. Healthcare, 33.3%. Supply chain, retail, real-time analytics, 40% market share. Security, I think there's a huge scope of expansion. I think in future you can see a lot of growth in connected devices, transportation side, and security, because especially in India we are basically not doing well too good with vehicle to infrastructure communication, vehicle to vehicle communication. Okay, there's a whole good scope of this thing for transportation and security. Yes, I think it is going to be a future big market. Now you can find a lot of locks which just put your finger and the traditional lock will open. Okay, you can home automation and smart home. There are two new concept came into the picture. Smart home environment and something called home automation. Do you know what is home? What is the difference between smart home environment and home automation? Anyone? Any response? Okay, let's keep it as a question. If you want, I can respond, but not now. You know, if I think any response from the participants are always welcome. You know, that's the real motivator. Let us go to new slide. Okay, let us see the news where we are going with IoT nowadays. Okay, again, vehicle, you know, pets, person, everyone is connected. So smart cities, smart environment, smart energy, smart agriculture, e-health, retail, logistic, everywhere IoT is being, you know, is being implemented. Now, if I ask you, can you give me one definition? What is smart city? Smart city. You see, government is emphasizing more on this thing. I belongs to Jaipur, and they say that Jaipur is going to be one of the smart city. Indore is going to be a smart city. Hyderabad is going to be a smart city. Delhi is all going to be a smart city. But what exactly is smart city? Let's see. Technical. Anyone would like to comment on this one? Smart cities. Any response? Maybe not you don't want to, but what if I show you this? Can you see something? Now any response about what is smart city? What is going to be smart city? Bangalore, yeah, Ambika ji. Sure, Bangalore is also going to be smart city, but what do you think? What is going to happen when the city is going to be smart? That's the question. This is smart city. If this is the only way to become smart, to make a city smart, I think I can open this thing using something called what is the name of this IEEE smart city? Let me see. I think I can't because I'm trying to open it into uh, Edge so I can open it. No, give me 1 second. Yes, now what do you think now to make a city smart, you have to look into different aspects. First is called the power, the most important thing. So you see IEEE 1547, people don't realize what is this. Basically, it is series DER. DER is basically distributed energy resource. Okay, I should give little bit more time to security. Now we are going to finish this topic. And so you have photovoltaic into this, you have fuel cell into this, you have primary and secondary level of distribution into this, interoperability, smart grid, you know, hybrids, grids and all. So as you see transportation, you have power line communication. I believe this is the feature. So you can do all data transfer just on twisted pair line power lines, basically positive negative, and you can do a lot of. So again, rail communication, rail IRCT is already announced what is going on with the communication side. Then we have wireless access vehicle environment, you know, transportation emergency management system, whole new level is there. I saw two comments, would like to read sustainable development goals. Yes, working on 17 DGS. 17 DGS as DG means what? Mishra ji, can you help me with this full form of? Okay, SDG is Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you very much for your participation and contribution. And really, I learned this new term. I looked into it today. That is called Sustainable Development Goals. Okay. So there, yes, there are sustainable, because according to policy, there are certain goals which need to be fulfilled. For general public, we should have good connectivity. Okay, but this is how you are going to have a good connective transportation. Okay, in connectivity in terms of transportation, everyone should be provided with good health. and services should be accessible to everyone. How you are going to make services accessible to everyone? You have to follow certain standard, whatever the technical norms are there. So backend is always technical, front end always looks nice. Okay, but there are these things are going to, so ISM is basically the band in which your Bluetooth work and healthcare facilities, serial encryption, medical smart series medical devices, lot of good things into going to be there. So low power electronics is going to be another area. IoT is written in journal, but you see it is mostly about the architecture, design principle, harmonization of devices and systems. So all of these things should be connected here. So you see 5G, I don't want to put too much of emphasis on 5G because it's not my area. So I literally know seriously not too much about it. So cyber security, I start enjoying security now. Now you see e-privacy, you should know your right, or you should follow the best practices by different organizations with whatever is being suggested. So when you do this, you follow the good practices. You should use encryption and decryption techniques. Then there are physical security, intelligent electronic devices should be there, so they will uh, uh, protect you. Governance and data privacy are some other factors which again need to be looked into into consideration. Then your LAN WAN, smart home environment came into the picture, and learning technology. Now you see people were not using learning technologies too much before. Now you see Baiju app, you see Junior Whitehead Junior. Now you see Moodles or MOOCs came into the picture. So now you have more and more scope of learning technologies. This whole because again, you know, the source is pretty much easier. You simply write IEEE smart city, so this will give you IEEE standards, help enabling smart city technology for humanity, and that's the most important thing about IoT. Okay, any question so far? Anything which is not clear to you or you'd like to ask? I can need my response, or any advice you have. Okay, so let us finish this particular area. For example, there are devices, so you produce too much of data every day. So you have to analyze how much data is being produced by IoT devices. So turbines, you see smart meters. So everything is data. Data is new oil. What do you mean by new oil? Because so you do further analysis and you create some design ideas, innovation, implementations, and all that. How can you do it if you don't have a knowledge? Okay, just data doesn't help. You have to you make a knowledge, create it into what? Knowledge need to be converted into wisdom. Okay, so you have so you see IoT data 1.62 billion employer. So you have too much of business going on there. There is a scope also. Smart disease ranking is based on point being discussed by user. Mishra ji, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you very much. And I want you, every one of you, should have this whole thing. Okay, it is very important. So we as a engineer, we should say that what do you mean has too much of depth. You know, it is not so easy. For example, if you see this diagram again, you realize even working on one cc, you even for example, I am in IoT, precision timestamp itself, following precision timestamp will take 3 to 4 years just for one engineer, and you need expert of people who are in this particular area working from last 4 or 5 years or more. You need some good architect, IoT architect in sense of network designer, topology designers and all. It's a huge investment of time, and it's a good huge investment on technology. So yeah, but just my connecting things, my Paytm is working in kirana shop doesn't say that it is a IoT one component, but it has too much of other important aspects which need to be taken care of, obviously. Okay, now I can give you proper definition of what is IoT, what is M2M. So I think M2M refers to, so there are big differences, but again I want to emphasis. I want to give you little bit emphasis on what is IoT versus M2M. So it's a philosophical difference, first of all. Second of all, you have one place you have a protocol in M2M is under IC IoT is a big umbrella. In IoT you have D2D, M2M, and other things came into the picture. So you see it. Okay, sorry. And now we go. So you see communication and interface between machines and devices. You can see you have interaction with cloud computing infrastructure. You have managing device interaction between device. The term by default comes from telecommunication engineers. So M2M was a term toys by telecommunication ITC. Okay, so then you have IoT has a big broader scope. It not only there are machines, but there are things, people, application, devices, a lot of other things are involved. Range of interactions, you have a whole broad range. Okay, so there are too many things. Okay, it's a composition of workflow, includes internet connectivity, not necessarily focus on telecommunication network, as we have discussed. Obviously IoT has a bigger scope. So why I'm discussing this, because people has this confusion, M2M means IoT. No. Okay, now with this you have an idea what basically is IoT and what basically is M2M. Second confusion or conflict is basically between IoT and WOT. Can anyone let me know the full form WOT? WOT means Web of Things. So Web of Things is basically developer's perspective. You have so you have to design technology which should be accessible through. Thank you, Ambika ji. So the technology is accessible to website or web applications or mobile applications. In both cases, you have to use certain technology. You have to use certain APIs, file library system, and certain RESTful is one classic example of that one. You have a lot of resources and application just through webs, through website or network, which gives you access and control. So supervision or surveillance systems usually use WOT. So you have publish subscribe model works on it, this one. So again, it's a whole little bit deeper. Let's say publish subscriber means what? It's just like a YouTube model. Okay, so I have a new video coming, and my subscribers will be the first one who will notify it. They will get the notification that, oh, it's some the channel you have subscribed has a new content now. So let us put everything into one single picture. You have machine to machine, IoT, and IO everything. So you have a device that captures an event. There are networks, application, meaningful information again. So things with and without human interaction can communicate using or without using IP connectivity. Internet of everything is much broader than, I mean, it goes to another level, says that everything, if it is connected, either it is industry 4.0, if it is agriculture 3.0, if it is retail market, blockchain nowadays again is getting too much of fame. So if anything is connected, everything or anything is connected to internet comes to IoE, which is internet of everything. Again, there are a lot of variations in this particular domain. I think I should skip something from here. The reason is because okay, so I want to mention something here, and before mentioning this, I want to ask you a question, a very nice puzzle, so we can finish this topic and we should jump to IoT security. So I have a question. Please listen to the question very carefully. I am a farmer. Okay, I am a farmer. I was very happy farmer. Now the thing what happened is that yeah, I have a farm and I have my crops are growing so good, and everything was greener and very cool and all. So what happened? All of the sudden, I have animals. Okay, animal start coming because my fasal, how to say, crop is ready, and because of this farmer, the animals start coming into my, this is one animal. So okay, I don't know how to, we are good. Okay, just mentioning it. So so what happened, they come and what they do, they start eating my crops. Okay, so my crops were going, so I need to and it is not possible for me because now agriculture is not $1 million, it's not a something which in India especially a lot of educated people would like to do. It's a hard working, less income, something like this. Okay, so I can't spend 24/7 in my farm, but still I want to protect my farm from these animals. How can I do it? What should I do? Did you get the question? So first thing what I did is, anyone, any response?
In general,
Come
we
on.
make boundaries around the farmhouse, and then we try to protect them or make the wiring fencing like things.
Okay, thank you. So I have wiring done and I have fencing done. Okay, wall is literally expensive for me. That's why you can't see lot of brick walls, because it is, farmer is not, uh, it is unaffordable. And why I'm pointing to this particular problem statement, because I stay, our college, our institute is in the locality where you have too much of farm area. So we basic geographical restriction using IoT. How, Ambika ji, this is very easy. You are saying geographical restrictions, but how can you stop a monkey or a cow or a pig, hogs? How can you stop them? So fencing, let's say I started with fencing, and the fencing is working fine. And what happened, after some time, the animal know how to skip the fencing. So now, for example, if this is the fence and I have 1 2 3, so this fence goes like this, or it is broken, something happened, and now all animal knows that they have to come here. So how, they don't come in the broad daylight, they always, animals, the most if a most vulnerable time for the farmer is basically night time, because you can't simply control, there are less people and all. Birds, scarer. Birds, yeah, he was not even counting, but let's say okay, birds are also involved. Good. So bird, they use, for birds in north side, they use this gulail. So they throw it, and again, human intervention is required. But my question was again, is it possible to save the crop without all this thing, or a statue, scary crow? This is my idea. You very, Pankaj Chaudhary ji, you are very close to my idea, and I think, but this, you haven't explained it a lot well. But let us see. I don't know the right answer. Let me tell you this in advance. Okay, but I am trying to prepare something. So scary crow is bijuka, is in Hindi, they, in my local term, they call it bijuka. So scary crow. But how scary crow will help? I don't know. So for even, for scary crow, what happen, they will be feared for day or 2 or 3, and after that they know there's a joke or something. So animals are intelligent. Don't consider animal. This is the exact thing I wanted to say. Okay, no problem. You can. Thank you. So now, what is the solution? What is the solution? Anyone? We can use noise. Another very good solution. Noise. I like your solution. More very creative. Chaudhary ji, you are a very creative person, because it is very easy to listen what the talk, how the talk goes, but it is very hard to make ideas on the spot. I really appreciate your efforts. So there are two inputs. One is noise, then there should be a scary crow, and these things are not new. Okay. So how this is, so for example, you are sleeping, how can you make a noise? And at night, this is not even visible. In night, So most one, that's why I say most vulnerable time is night, because in night they come in a group. So I don't know what to say. Nilgai. So Nilgai is a wild animal like a moose. And then you have a group of pigs. A lot of if animals, animals come in a group. So it is not easier at that time to handle, because if you try to hit them, they will attack you. In night they are more aggressive. So what is the solution? Sensors. It's again how, why, how to put them. Let us try to make a IoT scenario. Okay, so what I do is I have this guy sensors. So I have a small coins, and these coins are mounted, and agree, and the farmer is really very intelligent whenever it comes to use the experience, because the farmer is doing this job years and generations. Sometimes it is generations, from one generation to a generation. So her experience comes very handy. Okay, so he don't need to. So I have a coin cells, I have this coin cell, and I have pressure sensor. Okay, and I have temperature sensor, and I have humidity sensor. Let's say these three modules with a single coin cell battery, operated through this, and these are dig inside the soil, inside the soil. And the most important thing is that they communicate through BLE. What is the full form BLE? Anyone? What is the full form BLE? Bluetooth, Bluetooth, low energy. Okay, so now, so these are mounted here, and now I have a scary crow. Okay, please tell me what is the design flaw in this. Okay, so scary crow has a camera mounted here, and I have a motor, so this camera can have a 360-degree rotation. So in that way, this is what is happening. So because if the hog is there or a small pig is there, so it goes inside the crop. So it is by the eyes you can't see, only you can feel the pattern, some movements, and then you can realize that really there is a hog, or there is something like reflectors can be okay. Reflectors is okay. So I use reflector. Again, budget, don't go out of budget. We are doing so in market. Only thing which is going to sustain is Sasta, Sundar, or Tikau. Do you know what does it in this is in Hindi? Sorry, Sasta means cheaper or cost effective. Sundar means easy to use, user friendly, and Tikau means rigid or robust. This is what you can sell to the market. If you have anything missing, out of the market, nothing will sustain. Okay, so because I'm trying to make the solution for the farmer, so I say farmers, you what I'll give you, you should buy these three sensor, and I'll give you the circuit. You can find the whole bundle in 20 rupees very easily, no problem. And you can dig inside, and I'll give you a big board which will cost you, let's say 3K. Not a huge investment, but still a big one for the farmer. I accept it. So now what happened? This single board computer with camera SBC are mounted here. So what happened is, I have in fence, I have electric shock. So what we have observed is shock is always something which effect. It doesn't kill the animal, it doesn't harm the animal, but it will give a warning signal. Okay, this is what shocks do. Apart from that, you can have a bell. Okay, like not the electronic bell, but turn that bell, so it will make a lot of noise. So bell should be there should be a lever through which it will start working. Okay, shock, bell, and the sensor. So this sensor, so let's say the animal start coming, and camera might have looked it. Okay, so we can create different scenario. Camera have looked it, camera ignored it, So let us consider, if looked at, bell will start working, shock will start flowing. As soon as one animal will touch it, it will give a shock, other animal will be warned, don't go inside, something like this. Okay, let's say camera hasn't haven't camera has missed it because of certain obstacles. It doesn't mean that it is going to work fine. So in that case, what happened, you have the sensors got activated. So for example, the sensors can't, the SBC can't directly communicate to this one. So what happened, sensor will get the information, it will transfer to the sensor information, then it will transfer here, then it will goes here. It looks like long way and long path, but is this whole thing come finished in milliseconds, very very less time. Okay, or if you are using, because BLE has a short range, that's a problem, and your farm is a very big area, so you have this kind of arrangement. It is not too complex, very easy. You have to work on nearest neighbor. Okay, nearest neighbor is what you need to look at, and you need to transfer the information. So once the information comes here, with SBC, I really know the location from which, because I know the sensor one has shared this information through to sensor 2 and sensor 3. So the original sender is always sensor 1. I'll know this information come from sensor 1, and in that case, I now what SBC can do is again alert or warning through SMS, call, whatsoever. Apart from that, you can simply ring the bell, and shock again is going to be activated. Now you have some better arrangement. Obviously machines have certain limitations, but through this, what happen is, on the basis of the combination of information which is coming from here, you can make an estimate of input or the animals. Okay, rough estimate. It's not the safe one, but it's a roughly with the error of 10-20% is okay. I mean, not going to affect. So it's a cost effective solution based on our experience. A farmer know, mostly here I have another farm, so I don't need these two. I know from where usually animal come from, this area and this area. So you can simply enumerate this, and you can simply put the coins in that particular location only. Okay, this is how. So any loophole in my design, anything which is so not clear to you, or anything which you would like to share, any inputs? I have patented this thing now, and we have one project submitted, and I like few more contribution and collaboration. If anyone is interested in the idea, feel free to communicate. I will be more than happy to share more views. But this is a classic example of machine, device, and human interaction with humanity. Not, I just don't want to name animal. Let's say humanity. So humanity includes everyone, all living beings. Okay, so you see now, our duty, traps can be made. Traps like what you can, cages. See, the problem with traps is that, for example, if you have a moose into your farm, it is your law restrict you even to touch it. Forget about killing or hitting or something like that. Okay, so it is violation of wildlife act. So you can't simply also, you see, there is very less incident when you can see the local wild animals, which come into the farm, and farmers can't do any harm to them, because it is violation of the law. So you have to respect natural habitat. They are there because that's what they do. They eat, they roam around, and it's a natural way of their life. And traps, what happened, the animals start resisting. So so they start they come into the pressure, they come into the tension, and they start hurting themselves. So so the trap goes more hard. As you try to resist, it comes it it catches you more brutal way, so it blocks the nerves and might damage the bones and all. So it has a physical damage situation. Non-violating act, small traps like small pit, and also if some trap, yes, there are some solutions like this. refs, they will not return. Okay, so that is another good idea. Thank you very much, Pankaj ji, Chaudhary ji. Thank you very much. Now, should we go to something very important? Let me run my slides because time is moving. So what I mean to say is that you don't need a big fancy computer just to work on IoT, or that there are devices which just work like that. So for example, Launchpad, this is not single board computer, it's a microcontroller board. So you have a tiny amount of things. For example, this board size is half of your credit card. This is not even half of your credit card. You go this one, this is something like a pen drive size board. Okay, now what you can see here, all so except this one, you can see Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all of these things are working. So this works on, so nano SIM card. Even without SIM you can have uh, you have a LORA protocol working on this one. Bluetooth is also working on this one. So you have more options. Apart from that, nowadays you don't even need to understand how to write a program, because there's something called graphical programming. So this is called scratch coding. Okay, so you can use scratch coding. There are examples. So you just put block wise, you just put there, and when you do this, it will convert into this one automatically. Or if you have this one, you can convert it. So all the most important uh, thing nowadays is your logic. If you have idea and you can think relatively, you can implement it so easily. And this whole is the cost of these devices are hardly, for example, Nano comes, I think 400 or something. Not too expensive. I mean, under 1,000 rupees. All these things are under 1,000 rupees. Coding is basically free. All you need to do is the host device. So I can show you a few more examples, but my intention is to discuss a little bit about digital twin. Digital twin is basically represented as an asset. When you have an asset in physical world and you would like to do certain changes. For example, wind and the turbines of for hydro power generation, turbines are very expensive, very sophisticated equipment, and you can't simply go and do the changes in turbine. So what I say is, turbine is a physical asset. I make a digital replica of turbine in form of 3D uh, 3D visualization, and back end lot of codes are working. So rather than working here, what should I do? I do the testing here, and I validate, I get the results, analyze the results, and once it is working fine, then it might be easier just to start working on the turbine, physical turbine or physical asset. Why? Because stopping turbine will stop the production of electricity, for example. Okay, and it will affect, so longer the turbine is not working, and the delay will be more, and it will really have a huge impact on the local community. So turbines, or trains, or hydraulic machines, a lot of big complex designs, now all of them are converted into digital twin. Now the concept, now what we have observed nowadays, there's a trend going on which say big societies also have their own digital twin. Home activity recognition is one example. So a lot of emphasis is given on digital twins going to be a future, not just data model, but include relational interaction. So if you give input, it will show you an output, how it is going to impact. For example, human body. So to do more complex cardio operation or neuro operation, what they do, they convert your physical body into a digital replica, and then they try to do certain simulation there. And if it works fine, then the same changes would be tested on the human body for more complex things. Okay, so digital twin is going growing and growing, and it will be there, have some look and feeling, connects with relevant time and data. Now I want to talk about something very important, that is these devices need to be safe. And how these devices need to be safe, you have to understand the security. But I don't want to use the term security because it's a broad word, and we need to look the safety or security into three different words. This is all about security: threat, vulnerability, and risk. Aditya ji, this we have this session. Somebody has a session on this thing already, or should I? give a idea about it.
No, sir. You can give the idea, sir. In the coming
Okay.
days, we have the OWASP session, sir. Hands-on session on the
Yeah.
OWASP. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let me show you what is threat. So threat is based. So now you have to understand. People don't, people means, there's a very fine line between all the difference between all these things, and it's very hard to understand what basically is threat, what is vulnerability, what do you mean by risk, and so for that I have come with these definitions with some examples. So please try to understand what, excuse me, what basically threat is. So threat is basically something which can or cannot happen, okay, but it has a potential to cause serious damage. Okay. What is going to be an example of threat? If you go in night, might be, somebody can rob you. So or there, so you have this thing in the mind. Okay, so potential of damage, or is something might happen, so that is related to threat. So example is organized crime. Then you have spyware. Another example, malware. And malware is basically a software which will damage your machine. Spyware is spyware doesn't damage your machine, but it will collect the activity which you are performing or doing in your machine. Okay, for example, your password and all of the things. Then your adware, it comes in like an ad, and people just click on it. So there are attacks where, for example, adware is basically also known as one click attack. Okay, so this is basically what threat is. Then we have to look into vulnerability. Vulnerability is a security risk. Okay, so or basically in one word, vulnerability is a weakness. Okay, threat has a potential, but vulnerability is a weakness or a gap. Okay, so I have checked 1 2 3, but I missed to check 4 5 6. So now my system again become vulnerable because I was supposed to check 1 to 10 and I didn't do it. I did it till 5, and after all these things I left just like that. So my system become vulnerable. So security risk in software program that can be put the program or computer at damage or malicious program is called, okay, okay, danger. Okay, computer at danger. So this is called vulnerability. Then there is something called risk. So what is risk? Where threats and vulnerability overlaps, that area is called what? It is called risk. So now let us see. So now these are statements. Now can we look into how we can realize risk, threat, and vulnerability? So basically this is the risk factor, how we calculate it. So you need to know what kind of potential damages could be caused to the system, what are the gaps and weakness which are not addressed in the system, and what kind of consequences. Okay, based on this, what kind of consequences would be caused. So like, on the basis of this you can do the risk analysis. It is called TVC analysis. Okay, threat, vulnerability, and consequences analysis. So why we are discussing all of the sudden about the security? The reason is that whatever the market we have seen, the market is so huge that you need to make it threat free, secure environment. Because once there is a, so there is a case study. So in North America, there's a power grid which has been hacked by a hacker, and government literally has to pay ransom for it. They ask, okay, if you want us to release your data and do nothing, you have to pay this, you have to do this and that. So now this the hackers are now getting more powerful, and your information seems like it is not too serious information, but try to read the newspaper every day. Somebody make fool because somebody gives the information, leak the information. So there are a lot of kind of security issues which need to be understood, and those issues can be related to all those IoT devices, because IoT devices are more vulnerable because of the connectivity, because the IoT device are just embedded system without connectivity. So connectivity plays very important role, and in that case security is something which we need to take very seriously. So you have wearables. you have clinical devices. So there's a huge market. I don't want to name the terms because it is written on PPT. I think it is very clear to you and you can understand. So what are these are the IoT markets. So these areas need to be covered very seriously, and I think you got an idea why we are discussing security in IoT and why should we learn about it. So there are challenges. What happen when your device become vulnerable? In that case, you have unpredicted behavior. So a device automatically turned on, sometimes it turned off. So all these things start happening. And device similarity. So device behave like so I have four nodes. All four node has different functions. So for example, this function 1, this function 2, this function 3, and this function 4. Now what happen is that this node is behaving like node 4. Okay, so dummy node is one example. So f1 should not be equal to f4, but now after vulnerability, what happened? F1 is behaving exactly like f4. So problematic deployment, again another issue. Long device life and expired support, these are the challenges. No upgrade support. Again, if you have a device working on with a physical environment, you can't simply connect it to internet every time and you can get device upgraded. Okay, the transparency related issue, and and the alerts. So all these things are challenges. Now there's an organization. OWASP is the name of organization. What is the full form of OWASP? OWASP full form is Open Web Application Security Project. So OWASP has mentioned few good practices which need to be done to avoid vulnerability. Okay, so there are few things. For example, weak, guessable, hard-coded password. One vulnerability. Insecure network services. You can go through this insecure ecosystem interface. If I'm logging into free public Wi-Fi, there's a possibility my system will be is hackable. No, or it has been hacked, before you even think. So encryption decryption are not that strong at that particular moment. Lack of secure update and mechanism. I don't again you know again So there are few things you have to work on your setting. There are few best practices which you need to follow, and your device ID protection is very important. So whenever you open a new website nowadays, so what you can see, you can see there are it will open a cookie. It will ask, we would like to access your location and your some information, so we can make more information in a better present in a better way. So you have consent as one. ID, so ID protection can be done without consent. You can't try to connect, nobody can connect to you, and you will never try to connect with anyone. You have a right to be left alone. So if you don't want to be in the network at that particular moment, there should not be, device should not be forced to be engaged. Okay, so there should be right to be left alone. And indistinguishable data, so group targeted indistinguishable data is another problem. Scalability, scale of the network is another problem, and comfort is another issue which you need to look into. So the cyber attacks are of too many types. Built-in security should be there, encryption mechanism should be there, risk analysis we have seen, TVC already. Authorization is you have based on the access the user, you have privilege policies, and access method should be defined, and data theft should be stopped or should not be there. This is, I don't usually cite papers, but really I like this thing, so I highly recommend you to go through Jayashri Sen Gupta, Sushmita Ruj, and Shipra Das paper. The paper title is Comprehensive Survey on Attacks, Security Issues, and Blockchain Solution. It has been published in JNCA, a very good journal. I think I'm mentioning here because you if you like to know IoT security, literally this one single diagram from their work is pretty much efficient. You can see the types of attack. There are physical attacks, network attacks, you have software attacks, and data attacks. So even you can see that they are just a broad classification. Inside it, every time there is something new. So denial of service is one attack. So for example, my printer is supposed to print. Whenever I am asking for print, it is denying the service of print. But the system is doing scanning and all other activities normally. So how much services they are designing. So then you have fake node. So there I should be having only one. I have physically designed 5 nodes of, let's say, 5 nodes, but I'm getting what I there's another node which has been displayed, and this is like fake node. Okay, so it has been sniffing or snooping is happening. So fake node is another problem. I can go side channel attack, deep sleep denial mode. So there are modes where, so different kind of attacks are there. If you want me to emphasize on one single type of attack, please let me know. So unauthorized data attacks are different kind of unauthorized attack. Breach of data breach is another attack. Software virus, worms, Trojan horse, different kind of attacks are there. So each and every attacks has certain implications. So you can see tampering, attack, and malicious code. What it does, it access the sensitive information, and it can do denial of attack and all other things. So fate no, sleep denial, side channel encryption, decryption attacks, related issues. So there are few attacks, I have named them here. So raw hammer, there are good things which we can discuss, but I think my time is over. Is it so?
The next session will be on around 2.
Or
Yes, sir.
participant?
Uh,
Okay. Okay, so let me finish now
Hello.
because I don't want to take any extra time. And let me conclude. Okay, I will be available through. I will give you my contact information so our participants can talk. I want to emphasize here on something which people literally take for granted. That is called RFCs. Anyone can give me the what is full form of RFC? Anyone can give me full form of RFC?
Sir, request for comment.
Sir, namaste. How are you, sir?
Namaste. Sir, I'm fine, sir.
Okay, request for comments are something very important. And RFC, for example, if I want to show you RFC is basically session in. So I use this RFCs for different operations. For example, I want you to show you RFC for services. Okay, so we have for HTTP related security, we have RFC 2818. Let me show you 2818. So it simply show you so this is freely and free information accessible to anyone and everyone, and everything is here. So for example, how you protect requirement of connection initiation, how upon connection closure, how you are going to do, lot of other good things are here. Then another impact should be on access node control protocol, how this is going to work. IPv6 or 6 low power WAN is how it is going to work. What are the standards related to neighbor discovery? Because if there's a fake node, and with following this protocol, you can literally identify the fake nodes and the real nodes. Okay, so neighbor discovery is very important. Apart from that, I simply suggest you to know your rights, go through RFCs, use standard APIs. Fast access to the market and the trust are very important things related to IoT security. I would like to thank you everybody for your time today, for giving me your important time, and the floor is open for any kind of comment, question, and discussion. Thank you for the organizers to provide me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your such informative session, sir. We
Yeah.
really appreciate your effort to make the session more informative and interactive, sir.
Yeah, I tried my best.
Yes, sir. And you succeeded, sir.
Sir,
Huh?
it's an
All
honor, sir.
because of
Yes.
you.
It's an honor, sir.
you have been like torchbearer in the IoT topic itself, sir. And I would request all the participants, if you have any queries, you can put either in the chat box or you can ask directly by unmuting yourself. And I'm very thankful, sir, that you took your time, precious time, and taught us about the various things. Although, like, there are a lot of things we need to learn from each other as a faculty members here. And just like you mentioned about the RFCs and other things related to the IoT, these are the need of our right now. You know, this particular cybersecurity FDP was floated and requested to the AICT only to keeping in the view that this particular session needs to cover all the terms which are related with the cybersecurity. Since cybersecurity is a domain which is kind of an umbrella term and comprise of variety of things which are coming into the market right now. And then I think that no one is better than you in terms of IoT devices, and you are running a center into that as well right now. So it's an honor, it's a privilege to listen to you and to have you in our FDP program, sir. And if there are any queries, it will be really good. Anyone? Any queries? Or I think like you have explained so beautifully. The people are just saying thanks to you and just giving me the feedback, sir.
I basically
I would request all the participants here. Sir,
continue. No, please, sir,
You
continue.
were saying
You
something.
finished?
I'm just requesting all the participants here present to just initiate your camera so that we can have a group photograph here. This will be kind of a souvenir for all of us, for the speaker and for the participants as well. That would be great.
Let's
Sir,
have a
if
group
you can
photo.
just stop sharing your screen, sir. आपकी screen sir अभी भी share पे है sir.
How can I stop it? Should I click on ये लाल बटन पे ये जिस पे क्रॉस आ रहा है वो?
नहीं sir. इसके leave के बगल में screen पे sir click करें, stop sharing आ जाएगा सर उसको लिखा हुआ.
Okay. My
Yes, sir.
screen is
Now
not visible now.
Coming fine. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Requesting all the participants to just put on your camera so that we can have a good photograph here. Thank you. Thank you. Please, I would request all the participants to be here. Don't take much time of yours. Thank you. Okay, sir. It's an honor, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice
Sir.
day. Enjoy the FDP. It is a very fantastic topic. You might love it. Okay. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir. Take care, sir. To the participants, we'll again initiate the session in